The country is about to embark on a bold mass social and economic experiment. Will cutting off federal benefits early for half the country prod people in those states back to work? Businesses have been complaining they can't find enough workers to serve tables, make beds, and man factory equipment. They say the government is paying people more to not work than they can afford to pay them to work, and they can't compete. Combined federal and state unemployment benefits equal an average of about $650 a week, or $16 an hour for full-time work. That's more than some of these entry-level jobs are offering. The CARES Act in March 2020 provided a $300 a week federal supplement on top of regular state unemployment benefits. The American Rescue Plan extended them through Labor Day. Those extended benefits are what these states are now ending. But cutting off this support will impact real people. And those who have been living on unemployment say they've got other reasons they can't go back to work, like virus concerns or childcare. Sherry Pratt of New Hampshire is an unemployed print marketing sales rep, and her daughter has special needs. The state will cut off the federal expansion for her on June 19th.
And I can't get a job right now. I can't find care for my daughter. She requires some special care. I can't find anybody to care for her if I were to go out and get a full-time job.
The family is down to a single income. Her husband works in a warehouse. She's been sending out resumes since being laid off right before the pandemic, but says the only jobs open are entry-level hourly ones.
There are not a lot of jobs available in my field. You know, for me to go out even from 9 to 1 and get a job that is going to pay, what, $12 an hour? I don't think there's a labor shortage. I think there's a living wage labor shortage.
The Century Foundation estimates that 4 million will lose their benefits for a total of $22 billion. According to a recent study from the Federal Reserve,
if there's 28 unemployed people with these benefits in place, 6 workers per month will find a job. If the benefits were taken away, 7 workers would find a job. So that's the impact. What happens to the other 21 workers in either scenario? They need something to get by on, to pay their bills, to put gas in their car so they can look for a job. And that's what's being cut off. These governors are essentially cutting off their nose to spite their face.
If benefits were preventing workers from applying, we would expect to see job search activity rising in the states that are cutting them off. So far, that hasn't happened. Just look at this chart from Indeed. We'll see if things change after the benefits run out. Experts say we haven't faced up to the fact that we're in the midst of a great labor force reallocation, accelerated by the pandemic, where many people may need to retrain or switch careers entirely.
We have kind of been in the idea that we could just turn the lights back on and everything would go back to exactly like it was on March 1st, 2020. Now the lights are turning back on. We realize it's not exactly like that, and we need to help people in that process of getting back to work. Potentially in a new occupation altogether.
Labor demand is soaring, but workers are hanging back. There are 9.3 million unemployed and at least that many jobs open. But Americans quit their jobs at record levels in April, hitting 4 million. Some say the employees are coming back to jobs they realize they don't want anymore and leaving for better ones. Others argue that the extended benefits are making it easier, too easy, for workers to take their time. Workers say an essential lifeline is getting cut.
I have felt like I haven't had control of much, and now it's just like the bottom is falling out even more.
Shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Barakah HaKodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who stood with will, who told me 100% truth. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the 4 corners of the planet Earth, pushing this word in truth and sincerity as commanded by Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Barakah HaKodash. Whether Yaquam, Lord willing, coming back with an edifying lesson to edify and feed the lambs of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Alright, and all that free money being given out, but I can't get my income tax. Hey, but on a serious note, man, Babylon is falling. Okay, Babylon is fallen, is fallen. The city of confusion. Okay? How is it that you have state and federal benefits that amount to more than a person actually makes at their job? And then you expect a person to go back to work, which a lot of times those jobs aren't even there anymore. So now what's about to happen is they're about to cut off these unemployment benefits, and a lot of people have become unemployed, if you haven't heard. And all those people that are unemployed, they're going to go back out to the job market where there's significantly less available jobs than there were before. A lot of businesses shut down because of this pandemic. Okay, a lot of things are no more because of the pandemic. And so those jobs were never replaced. And so that's why I said, you know, Babylon is falling, man. This thing is on its last leg. Let me get that in Revelation. Revelation 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, or Babal, which in the Hebrew, Babal is confusion or confuse. It says, Babal, the great, is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And this verse right here is dealing with after the nuclear destruction and how America is going to be turned into a desert for all types of unclean beasts. Okay, but America is falling. Before that take place, America was already falling. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed, which that word destroy, the root word is destruct. Okay, so the structure of America is being broken apart. Okay, hence the unemployment structure. It's all broken. Then you have the crypto structure. It's broken. The investing in the Wall Street, it's all broken. So the Lord is destroying it because it was never right to begin with. It was an unjust balance. Jeremiah 51:8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take on for her pain. Yeah, because it happened suddenly. As he said, we were just in March 2020 and everything was all good. It was all good just a week ago. Okay, it says, how for her? Take on for her pain, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So Babylon would be healed, but it's not going to be healed. There would be a solution. There would be jobs to go back to, but there is no jobs to go back to. This is the end of the road for America. Isaiah 19:14, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt, which America is Egypt, okay? Which the word Egypt comes from the Greek word Egypto, which means bondage. And America is the place of the Israelites' bondage, slavery. The original name for Egypt is Mizraim. So that word Egypt there is of a significance. Isaiah 19:14, Yahweh Shem Yahushua have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. Perverse means to be contrary to the Bible. That's what the word perverse means. And they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof. This perverse spirit, this rebellious spirit against the Most High, is causing this country to err in every aspect of America, in every aspect of society. It says to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And now they're basically staggering in all of their mistakes. They're basically having to deal with all their mistakes at once, head on. They're having to they're having to actually deal with the consequences for the fucked up system that they established. Which they established this system ultimately to collapse so that they can bring in a new world order. But this is going to be their undoing. Isaiah 19:15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So all levels of Egypt, there's not any work for Egypt. Okay, so a lot of desperation is about to take place. A lot of great miseries. Let's get that. When these people get their benefits cut off and they realize that there's no jobs out here, the jobs that they left are gone, it's going to bring a lot of desperation. 2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50, for many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter time, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. So we're seeing the beginning of these great miseries. The lady talked about she got a daughter and she can't take care of her, and there are no jobs that pay enough. Because if America paid everybody the amount of money that it costs to live, the dollar would collapse. So, hey, the Lord, that's why the scriptures say we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Because if America attempts to dish out what is necessary to live, it's going to bring everything to a collapse, which eventually that has to happen anyway because of Bible prophecy. 2nd Ezra chapter 8:50, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride, because they have forsaken this Bible. They have had that perverse spirit. So now the Lord is about to bring great miseries. Okay, and the main great misery is the lack of livelihood, the lack to provide, the lack of resources to take care of one's family. This is about to take hold of Babylon the Great. Ecclesiastes 12:3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. The keepers of the house are these economists, the wise men in Babylon, the bankers, the traders, the investors, okay, and the economic forecasters. And right now they're seeing that this is a shit show. This is a bag with holes in it, This is there's no way out of this. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse, before Yahushua gets back. Ecclesiastes 12:3, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. The grinders are talking about the workers. Okay? And so the grinders have ceased because they are few, but now they're trying to get grinders back, but there's not enough money to pay the grinders. There's not enough jobs for the grinders to work. So what's going to happen? Crime rate is going to skyrocket. The love of many shall wax cold. UBIs, and ultimately the RFID microchip, the mark of the beast. Ecclesiastes 12:4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. You see, so the doors is shut now. The jobs is closed up, packed up. Mom and pop shops are no more. A lot of businesses went out of business. So the doors are shut in the streets now, because the sound of the grinding is low. He shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So this is the current state that America is in, and that they find themselves in for the perverseness, and these are the thoughts and purposes of Yahweh Shem Yahweh's heart. So I just wanted to report that. Lord, witness edifying brother Yaquam Kum Yashua Shalom.